Wuhan business owners oppose forced demolition, multiple individuals assaulted and hospitalized. Significant shift, Alibaba network continues equity transfers for 7 listed companies. Accounting firm GMT, Evergrande may have never generated any profit. CCP secretly collects DNA globally, raising alarm in the UK and the US. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Wuhan business owners oppose forced demolition, multiple individuals assaulted and hospitalized. Recently, in Wuhan, the Xiaodongmen market was forcibly demolished, leading to clashes between hundreds of merchants and a large demolition team. Several people were injured and hospitalized in the conflicts. However, the government has not yet come forward to negotiate resettlement or compensation. Instead, they have deployed temporary workers to maintain stability. Merchant from the Xiaodongmen vegetable market in Wuhan stated, "We want to survive, we want to live, we want to eat." In November, hundreds of merchants from the Xiaodongmen market in Wuchang district, Wuhan, received a notice from the local government stating that the market was to be demolished, and they were given a 10-day deadline to vacate the premises. However, all the merchants refused to leave. On the evening of November 30th, authorities dispatched over 1,000 personnel, including those with riot shields, construction workers, and government officials, in an attempt to carry out the demolition. They faced strong resistance from the merchants, resulting in multiple injuries, and some injured merchants were carried away on stretchers by medical personnel. Ms. Feng, a merchant from the Xiaodongmen, stated that the government cited safety hazards as the reason for demolishing the market, claiming the need to repair the road. Ms. Feng said, "On November 20th, they officially gave us the notice with just 10 days to comply. How can you find a new location for your business in such a short time?" They verbally claimed it was for road repairs, mentioning underground gas pipelines and safety concerns, and then said they needed to fix the road. These people have been living here for many years, and they haven't provided any resettlement. Suddenly asking them to leave, many people feel it's very unfair. Now the market has already been emptied, and everyone is temporarily setting up stalls outside, doing business for a few days as they can. Mr. Sheng, another merchant from the Xiaodongmen market, "There are nearly 500 businesses, and they've driven us all out, living by the roadside. Currently, we don't even know where they plan to demolish. It's all done by the urban management, city management, department. The demolition team consists of people from outside, and there are many of them. Our market has about 400 or 500 people, and they have more than half that number, and it seems like 3 people have been hospitalized, requiring treatment." Mr. Sheng stated that after merchants protested, the government did not come forward to negotiate resettlement or compensation. Instead, they deployed temporary workers to maintain order. Mr. Sheng, including urban management, "They are all here, there are so many people, they've hired quite a few temporary workers. Even now, there are still people here at the Xiaodongmen market, many people. From Wuhan number 25 middle school to the Xiaodongmen market, there are people stationed everywhere. Our protests don't seem to have any effect because they have more people and the government hasn't intervened." Significant shift, Alibaba network continues equity transfers for 7 listed companies. In recent days, Alibaba has made a series of significant moves involving the transfer of ownership in several publicly listed companies. Within the past 3 days, Alibaba has transferred ownership in 7 listed companies, leading to speculation online that Alibaba might be considering withdrawing from A-shares, Chinese domestic stock market. However, Alibaba has stated that this action is aimed at highlighting the company's core businesses while allowing non-core businesses to develop independently. On the evening of December 3rd, local time, 4 A-share listed companies Focus Media, Qianfang Technology, Manian Health, and Yuran Furniture issued announcements stating that their shareholder, Alibaba, China Network Technology Company, Limited, referred to as Alibaba Network, had signed a share transfer agreement with Hangzhou Haoyu Enterprise Management Company, Limited, referred to as Hangzhou Haoyu. Previously, on December 1st, Alibaba Network had announced that it had transferred its holdings in 3 other A-share listed companies, YTO Express, Red Star Macaline, and Liren Beauty, to Hangzhou Haoyu. The specifics of these ownership transfer transactions are as follows. Alibaba Network transferred 885 million shares of Focus Media, 576 million shares of Yuran Furniture, 313 million shares of Manian Health, 222 million shares of Qianfang Technology, 379 million shares of YTO Express, 248 million shares of Red Star Macaline, and 70.37 million shares of Liren Beauty to Hangzhou Haoyu. The total cost of Hangzhou Haoyu's acquisition of these shares amounted to 19.369 billion yuan. Due to these consecutive ownership transfers of 7 publicly listed companies by Alibaba Network within a short period of 3 days, and the fact that Alibaba Network will no longer directly hold shares in these companies after completing these transactions, there have been speculations in the media about whether Alibaba intends to exit the A-share market. However, publicly available information shows that Hangzhou Haoyu is a newly registered company established on October 24 this year, with a registered capital of $4.26 billion. Taobao is the largest shareholder of Hangzhou Haoyu with a 57.6% ownership stake, while Zhujiang Tmall holds 35.7%, and Alibaba.com China Limited holds 6.66%. The legal representative of Hangzhou Haoyu is Hu Xiao, who is currently the Director of Strategic Investment Department at Alibaba Group. In other words, although Alibaba Network will no longer hold these shares in the listed companies, Hangzhou Haoyu, which inherits the shares, is still an Alibaba-affiliated enterprise. Therefore, some industry experts believe that Alibaba's series of ownership transfer actions do not necessarily mean that Alibaba Group is completely exiting these companies. Alibaba Network stated in a press release that this move is part of their strategy to emphasize core businesses and allow non-core businesses to develop independently, with the goal of improving operational efficiency and enhancing corporate competitiveness. Throughout this year, Alibaba Group has undergone significant restructuring and changes, including the launch of the 1+6+N plan in March, which involved major organizational restructuring within Alibaba Group. This included the separation of Yunji Intelligence Group, Taoyan Group, Local Services Group, Alibaba International Digital Commerce Group, Cainiao Group, Da Group, and other 6 major business groups, along with several smaller business entities. Since the beginning of this year, Alibaba Group has been carrying out reforms on a large scale, which has dazzled the outside world. Accounting firm GMT, Evergrande may have never generated any profit. GMT Research recently stated in a report that China Evergrande Group may have never generated any profits and has been inflating its revenue and profits over the years. On GMT Research's official website, they claim to be an accounting research company specializing in Asia and regulated by the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission. On December 1, GMT published a report titled Newsletter, Evergrande, 3,333 Hong Kong dollars. Never profitable, which suggests that Evergrande has been inflating its revenue and profits over the years. The report states, Evergrande Real Estate has recently published its 2021 annual report, which explicitly acknowledges that the company significantly overstated its revenue and profits, a situation that may have persisted for years. Contrary to some market beliefs that Evergrande is a victim of liquidity tightening or a sluggish real estate market caused by the pandemic, its fundamental issues are more severe because it may have never generated any profits. GMT provides 2 explanations for their viewpoint. First, Evergrande changed its method of recognizing property sales revenue. In its 2021 financial report, revenue recognition was based on customer acceptance of the property or deemed acceptance of the property according to the sales contract, with no mention of whether the property was delivered or completed. Second, Evergrande's adjustments to revenue recognition had a significant impact on its financial statements. After changing its accounting method, Evergrande should have restated previous financial data, but they explained that they couldn't do this due to a high number of employee departures, so they only made adjustments starting in 2021. However, before 2021, in some cases, Evergrande recognized full revenue even before property delivery or completion. GMT believes that Evergrande is deeply in debt and can only sustain itself by continually increasing borrowing. There are signs that some funding sources have dried up. In response to GMT's accusations, China Evergrande issued a statement on December 4, acknowledging an institution's report claiming they had never been profitable. However, the company stated that the report had no factual basis and promised further clarification of its contents at a later date. GMT responded to Evergrande's rebuttal on December 4, both on their X platform, Twitter, account and their official website, suggesting that if Evergrande wanted to refute their newsletter, they could answer the questions GMT had sent them several weeks ago. This news has sparked discussions among netizens, with some expressing concerns about companies prioritizing investment over profits and others questioning why Evergrande's actions went unnoticed for so long. CCP secretly collects DNA globally, raising alarm in the UK and the US. Sir Ian Duncan Smith, a British Member of Parliament, stated in a speech on November 28 that the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, has already taken the lead in applying artificial intelligence to genomics. Ignoring this threat, he warned, could pose the greatest global security risk since World War II. According to the Washington Post, the CCP is secretly using medical products to collect DNA from millions of people worldwide. Tang Jingyuan, a commentator based in the United States, remarked, with its powerful computing capabilities, artificial intelligence significantly improves the success rate and accuracy of gene editing technologies. This could potentially lead to the creation of biological or genetic weapons so powerful that even their creators can't control them. The CCP's combination of artificial intelligence and gene editing technology is extremely dangerous. Sir Ian emphasized that 5 countries are currently investigating the CCP's collection of DNA from pregnant women and fetuses through prenatal testing. The Beijing Genomics Institute, now known as BGI Group, developed a test called NIFTY in consultation with the CCP's military. It claims to screen for genetic diseases like Down syndrome, but in reality, the CCP can access the collected DNA data at any time. Sir Ian noted that these tests allow the CCP to acquire genomic data from mothers and fetuses worldwide, and we have already authorized their use of this data in China. He described this as shockingly short-sighted. Tang Jingyuan added, if they reach a certain quantity, the CCP could develop targeted genetic weapons, potentially leading to actual genocidal weapons. The CCP's rampant DNA collection has long been a source of international concern. In 2020, the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, ASPI, reported that the CCP might have already collected DNA samples from 140 million people. During the Trump administration, BGI Group-controlled companies were added to the entity list for human rights violations, including forced DNA collection from ethnic minorities in Xinjiang. However, in the view of the U.S. political sphere, this is not enough. Fox News reported that on November 17 this year, 16 conservative groups in the U.S. wrote to Congress urging the enactment of an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, to prohibit U.S. government and related agencies from contracting with hostile biotech companies, especially BGI Group. The open letter stated that the genome is one of the most personalized data one can have. If it falls into the wrong hands, genomic data can also be used for genetic monitoring or social control of minority groups. Additionally, the CCP has prioritized biotechnology, including it in the Made in China 2025 plan. Zhang Xiaogang, a Chinese-Australian scholar, said, the CCP has long had this idea, like the concept of unrestricted warfare previously mentioned, which included the use of genetic technology in warfare. If a dictatorship uses this genetic data for identification or attack of individuals or families, or even for political assassination, these possibilities exist. However, I believe that the CCP using genetic weapons in warfare is not very likely to succeed. But their ambition to use it as a weapon of mass destruction must be vigilantly monitored. Tang Jingyuan believes that if the CCP can weaponize specific gene fragments that induce cancer through gene editing, it would be terrifying for the whole world. He said, this issue is already very urgent. The best approach is for developed countries to start now to completely decouple from Chinese technology and impose a total blockade. Otherwise, all advanced technology sent to China could eventually become a tool to backfire on the international community. Congressman Michael Gallagher, chair of the House China Task Force, believes that the CCP will undoubtedly use the genomic data collected by BGI Group for further malicious aggression and might even develop biological weapons targeting Americans. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.